Hello! Thank you for your interest in our simatherm heating devices. In the following presentation, I will introduce our heating devices to you in more detail. I will explain the most important features of the simatherm devices and show you which advantages and benefits the devices offer. Are you ready? Then let's get started. Rolling bearings are used billions of times around the world and have become an indispensable part of mechanical engineering. The expectation of the service life of such bearings is correspondingly high. The service life depends on various factors. Of course, the selection of the correct bearing type and the required dimensions play a central role here. However, the correct installation method and the lubrication are often underestimated, forgotten, or even ignored. In practice, many rolling bearings fail at an early stage of their service life and do not achieve the originally calculated or estimated service life by far. More than 60% of all pre-major bearing failures could be avoided. Looking at different studies concerning the cause and frequency of bearing failures, they can be divided into the following groups. About 14% of early bearing failures are due to external contamination. Approximately 36% due to insufficient lubrication. Another 34% fall into the material fatigue category. And about 16% of early bearing failures are due to improper assembly. If suitable mounting tools and the necessary knowledge are lacking when replacing rolling bearings, new bearings are often subjected to high forces during mounting and thus damaged. Early bearing failures are thus pre-programmed. The right method with professional special tools already helps against this during bearing fitting. Only in this way will the new bearings achieve the expected service life. Our simatherm heating devices and Simatool quality tools were developed exactly for this purpose. They guarantee a successful experience in all aspects of mounting and dismounting rolling bearings. In this presentation, we will focus on the different simatherm heating devices. Let's take a closer look at simatherm induction heaters. First, our smallest induction heating device, the IH025 Volcano. The IH025 Volcano is suitable for heating rolling bearings or other ring-shaped workpieces such as bushings, shrink rings, pulleys, rings, or similar. It is portable and intended mainly for repair work and rolling bearing replacement in the field by service and maintenance staff. But how does it work? The IH025 Volcano generates magnetic field in the medium frequency range, similar to an inductive hot plate. This magnetic field induces an electrical voltage specifically in the inner ring of the workpiece. The generated eddy currents efficiently heat the component. The heat is generated within the workpiece by the current flow, leaving all other parts of the heating device cold. Since the heating principle is based on the eddy current principle, the parts to be heated must be made of ferritic, that means magnetic metals. Whether the part to be heated is magnetic can be easily checked using the magnet of the temperature probe. This heating method, patented by Simatec, enables components to be heated quickly, easily, and energy efficiently. Let's briefly look at the most important technical data of the IH025 Volcano. The IHO25 Volcano can be used for workpieces with a maximum weight of 10 kilograms. The inner diameter of the workpiece must be at least 20 millimeters, and the outer diameter must not exceed 160 millimeters. The heating temperature can be set in the range from 20 to 180 degrees Celsius, degree by degree. If the workpiece is heated by using the automatic timer, the heating time can be set in the range from 0 to a maximum of 10 minutes. In addition, the power of the unit can be adjusted as required. There are 8 power levels available for the user. The device is available in 3 different versions for different voltages. For 100 volt, 110 to 120 volt, and for 220 to 240 volt. This must be kept in mind when ordering. Which version is the right one depends on the existing voltage at the place of use. Let's talk about the main components of the IHO25 Volcano. First of all, we have the plastic casing. On the control panel, the desired temperature or heating time and the power level are set, and the heating cycle is started. The workpiece to be heated is placed on the step-shaped support cone. The temperature probe is required when the workpiece is heated in temperature mode and is used to monitor the workpiece temperature. Here again the components in the overview. The IHO25 Volcano comes with the following standard accessories. First of all, we have the practical carrying bag with a strap. Each device is supplied with a country-specific power cable. To remove the hot components from the unit and to prevent hands from being burned, protective gloves are also included as standard. And last but not least, the already mentioned temperature probe. In addition to the IHO25 Volcano, we also offer other induction heaters. The IHO70, the IHO90 and the IH210. The simatherm induction heaters IHO70, IHO90 and IH210 are intended for heating rolling bearings. However, other ring-shaped components made of metal can also be heated. For example, liners, shrink rings, pulleys or gears. These units can be used to heat components that fit over the induction coil and between the 2 vertical yoke supports when the yoke is closed. Furthermore, smaller bearings or workpieces can also be heated by placing them on one of the standard yokes. The mode of operation is comparable to an electric transformer. By using an induction coil, a very high current with low voltage is induced into the ring-shaped workpiece. This heats the workpiece evenly within minutes. Only the workpiece becomes hot. The device remains cold and can be touched at any time without danger. Induction heating is very efficient because the workpiece is heated directly by the induction current. Since inductively heated bearings become magnetic, there is a risk that the bearings will attract metallic contaminants that can damage the bearing in the long term. To prevent this, our simatherm heaters are equipped with an automatic demagnetizing electronic as standard. This means that as soon as the heating cycle is stopped, the bearings are automatically demagnetized. When using the simatherm heaters IH070, IH090 and IH210, make sure to select the correct support yoke. Workpieces are heated most efficiently when they can be placed around the vertical coil. In this case, always use the largest support yoke to close the circuit. In order to be able to use the devices optimally, there are support yokes with different cross sections. To achieve the optimum efficiency of the heating devices, the largest possible yoke must always be used. If a too small yoke is used, the heating process takes longer and the energy consumption also increases. The unit therefore no longer works efficiently. In extreme cases, the unit can overheat. The workpiece does not have to touch the support yoke or the coil in order to be heated. It is therefore possible to heat large workpieces that rest on the support rack but do not touch the yoke. In some cases, it is necessary to optimize the cycle time or the heating time. For example, in serial assembly, in which the individual assembly steps must be completed in a specified cycle time. By adapting the yokes, the cross-section can be enlarged and the heating time reduced. Such special yokes are manufactured according to customer-specific requirements and are only available on request. Next, we will take a closer look at the three devices. We will start with the IH070. The maximum workpiece weight that can be heated with the IH070 is 120 kilograms. The workpiece inner diameter must be between 20 and 400 millimeters. The heating temperature can be set in the range from 20 to 250 degrees Celsius, degree by degree. The heating time for the automatic timer can be set from 0 to a maximum of 60 minutes. The unit is equipped with 5 power levels that allow the user to easily and quickly adjust the power. The IH070 uses so-called support yokes. Like the IH025 Volcano, the IH070 is available for 100 volt, 110 to 120 volt and 220 to 240 volt. One of the most important components is the housing, which is made of cast aluminium. The desired settings such as temperature, heating time, power level and so on can be easily and conveniently set on the clearly arranged control panel. On top of the housing is the so-called rack. The U-core is one of the central components. It is screwed to the base of the housing. The lower brace of the U-core is hidden by the housing and the rack, so only the two vertical arms can be seen. The yoke, which has already been mentioned several times, is placed on the U-core to close the circuit. Another key component of this type of device is the coil, which is mounted over the right vertical arm of the U-core. And last but not least, we also have the temperature probe. This probe measures the temperature of the workpiece during the heating process when temperature mode is used. As soon as the target temperature is reached, the heating process is stopped. In this way, unintentional overheating of the workpiece can be avoided. Here is an overview of all the important components. Next, let's take a quick look at the IH070's standard accessories. As already mentioned, the appropriate yoke must be selected for efficient heating of the workpieces. The IH070 is supplied as standard with 3 yokes. These have a square cross-section of 55, 28 and 14 mm. Of course, the temperature probe is also included in the scope of delivery. By the way, the same temperature probe is used for all simatherm induction heaters. So, if you have an IH025 Volcano and an IH070, for example, you can interchange the temperature probes of the devices. And of course, the protective gloves must not be missing here. Here again, the standard accessories of the IH070 at a glance. Next we will take a look at the IH090. The maximum workpiece weight that can be heated with the IH090 is 150 kilograms. The workpiece inner diameter must be between 20 and 400 mm as with the IH070. Also, the setting range from 20 to 250 degrees Celsius for the heating temperature and the setting range of 0 to 60 minutes for the automatic timer are identical to the IH070. The IH090 also has 5 different power levels, but is equipped with a fan for continuous operation as standard. In addition, the so-called swivel arm for the yokes is also fitted as standard on the IH090. But the biggest difference to the IH070 is the voltage. The IH090 is available for voltages of 200 to 230 volt, 400 to 480 volt, and for 500 to 575 volt. As with all devices, this depends on the voltage available at the place of use. As the sizes of the IH070 and IH090 are identical, most of the components are used for both devices. The swivel arm is attached to the IH090 as standard. With this swivel arm, the yoke can be easily swiveled forward to place the component to be heated around the coil or on the yoke. The fan is mounted on the bottom of the housing. This ensures that the device does not overheat, even when heating many workpieces in a short period of time. The higher feet are needed to keep the device stable with the fan attached. Finally, once again an overview of the components. Of course, there are also parallels to the IH070 in regard to its accessories. The 3 yokes, the temperature probe, and of course the protective gloves are all included in the scope of delivery. By the way, the 3 yokes are identical to the yokes of the IH070. As already mentioned, the IH090 is equipped with the swivel arm as standard. In order to be able to use the two smaller yokes with the swivel arm, the yoke adapter is required. This is also included as a standard with the IH090. And here again, the overview of the standard accessories. Now let's move on to the IH210. As you can easily see, the IH210 corresponds to the IH070 and IH090 not only in functionality but also in design. So there are again some parallels to the two smaller devices. First, let's take a look at the device's data as well. Since the IH210 is larger than the other two units, not only heavier, but also larger workpieces can be heated. This allows workpieces with a maximum weight of 300 kilograms and an inner diameter of 60 to a maximum of 640 millimeters to be heated. As with the IH070 and IH090, the heating temperature can be adjusted by degrees in the range from 20 to 250 degrees Celsius. There are also no differences in the setting of the heating time and the number of power stages. The heating time can also be set to a maximum of 60 minutes, and there are also 5 power levels. The standard yoke of the IH210 is considerably larger and heavier than the large yoke of the IH090 and is therefore built as a sliding yoke. Regarding voltages, the device again corresponds to the IH090. The IH210 is also available for voltages of 200 to 230 volt, 400 to 480 volt and 500 to 575 volt. Let's move on to the components of the IH210. Here again the already known components. The standard yoke of the IH210 has a square cross-section of 70 mm and is pushed to the left to open. Due to its weight, it cannot be used as a swing yoke, as otherwise the unit would tilt forward when opening the yoke. The roller support is used as a guide and as a stopper for the sliding yoke. And here again a small overview of the most important components. Included with the IH210 is the sliding yoke with a square cross-section of 70 mm and a support yoke with a square cross-section of 40 mm for smaller workpieces. Of course, the temperature probe must not be missing here either. And as with all Simatech heaters, the IH210 comes with a pair of protective gloves. Now that we have learned about all simatherm induction heaters, the question is, which device is the right one for my application? The choice of the right device depends on the following criteria: dimension and weight of the workpiece, material of the workpiece, final temperature to which the workpiece must be heated, the heating time, that means how long the heating may take at most, and whether the unit is to be used for single parts or in serial operation. With the help of this graphic, the device can be determined based on the workpiece dimensions and the workpiece weight. However, this should only be regarded as a rough pre-selection. In order to find the optimal device, all previously mentioned criteria must be considered. It is best to contact us. We will be pleased to advise you. In addition to our simatherm induction heaters, we also offer two hot plates, the HPS and the HPL. HP means hot plate, the S stands for small, and the L stands for large. Both hot plates are controlled by a temperature controller and are especially suitable for small bearings and machine parts. The HPS can be used to heat workpieces with a total weight of maximum 5 kg and on the HPL of maximum 10 kg. The temperature can be set in the range of 50 to 200 degrees Celsius using the knob. In opposite to the induction heaters, not the desired target temperature of the workpiece to be heated is set at the hot plate, but the temperature of the heating plate itself. In addition, the hot plates are not able to monitor the workpiece temperature. The HPS has a working surface of 380 by 180 mm. The working area of the HPL is exactly twice as large and is 380 by 380 mm. Both hot plates are available for voltages of 220 to 240 volt and 100 to 120 volt. Finally, I would like to show you a few application examples. The following pictures should give you a first impression of how our simatherm induction heaters can be used. For further information or questions, please contact us by email, contact form, or just call us. Email address and phone number can be found on our homepage simatech.com. Thank you for your interest and your attention.